So did you watch the Top Model documentary finally?
We are not completely done with it, but watched the majority of it. I couldn't believe I remember watching it, as I'm sure you do. You have a much better memory and you are more pop culture educated than I am. I did not think I would remember one season, one person, one clip. I remembered every single clip they showed, and some of them weren't even the most iconic moments. And I was disgusted at pretty much every single clip that they showed. And I can't imagine what, like, I remember watching it when I was younger and being like, this seems a little much. But watching it now as an adult, it's like, how was this ever allowed to be on TV? That
Because we were
woman got
terrible
sexually
back then.
assaulted. Yeah, but it almost went into like, are we okay? Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
like the start of this reality TV, the start of this like contestants and let's win something, the downfall of our society.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. That was the downfall. If someone were to look at the line and say, when did we go to shit? Those five to 10 years.
Yeah. It's like people had no scruples, no
Good word.
accountability,
Accountability.
like, and just the lack of accountability that Tyra took was, I think,
Oh,
maddening. And
frustrating.
like
Yeah.
the Jays and Nigel kind of wanted to act like they were taking accountability, but they really didn't.
Yeah, I agree. I was disappointed in that. I was
Yeah.
hoping for more from them of even just like a reflective moment, like a fuck. That didn't land well.
When really, like, when I sat with it, it just seemed like Jay Manuel was staging a Tyra takedown because he's just still bitter about what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Like specifically that episode where the Walgreens girl gets sexually assaulted and it was just posed as like it was a drunken night and she cheated on her boyfriend. I just want to give her a hug. Like I was so sad rewatching that. And I wish I could remember my reaction to it when I watched it when it first came out. Like I wish I could be like, were you on the did you pick up that she was sexually assaulted or did you also follow that?
I remember thinking that I was more upset about how her boyfriend talked to her.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
I remember finding that really disturbing because I think I was either like my senior year of high school or I was a freshman in college when that season aired. And so I think there was also a little like cognitive dissonance
Mm,
at play with me because there were some things that I had experienced around that time that like, I hadn't come to terms with. And so
right.
I think that also clouds like the memory and judgment. And I think like so many women have been in that experience where it's like, you know, where we question if it was consensual or not. And
Right.
then like you see they because I also don't think they played the footage to the extent that they played it in the documentary.
That being an excuse during the documentary is really what got me
Yeah.
going. When they said, oh, we didn't even show everything. That doesn't make it any better. It does not
No.
make it any better. But I
Mm-mm.
agree. I think majority of women have been in that space of like, was I, having these conversations with themselves. But to see it so clearly from the outside looking in, I mean, she was passed out and this happened. Like, I think the most disgusting part was there were so many people around outside of producers. Cameras on, cameras off. There were so many people there. And that is just the whole, just that. I only bring up that specific part of the doc because that I think was the most like gut wrenching when I was watching it. Not that other things weren't. The whole
Mm-hmm.
thing with Ebony, I mean, I remember thinking she was the most gorgeous woman to walk planet Earth. I thought she was a goddess. I don't remember ever picking up on the things that were talked about
Mm-hmm.
in this doc. Yeah, it was just very sad. Very sad.
Yeah. And I think like what kills me is Tyra being like, "Oh, just wait to see what we do for cycle 20." And I'm like, "Bitch, really? Really?" And like there's only so much they can say about like, "Oh, well, that's how it was back then." Cuz I distinctly remember on the Real World around the same time that like the production would step in when things got unsafe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they wouldn't let them get behind a wheel of a car. And I think there was a point where like it might have been in Real World Austin, I think, which was definitely it was my freshman year in college because that was 2004, where I think like there was straight a guest in the house and something almost crossed the line and like production like stopped it from happening.
Yeah, I think maybe the difference in with Top Model is compared to like putting themselves in dangerous situation in those instances is like a lot of this was verbal and a lot of this was like microaggression. A lot of this was like so it wasn't like did production overstep in these instances where they were in a place to be harmed? No, they didn't step up. They let it happen. Disgusting. But the fighting of the judges, the racism, those things came out of those people's mouths.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
So, do I blame production for keeping it in and not saying something to these people? Hell fucking yeah. But Tyra made the comments about that woman's gap. Tyra sent those girls to the dentist, and that girl, like, yeah, production also, but they're just as fucking guilty. Because if they didn't do what was said, then they were made to feel like they were pieces of shit. Yeah. And that production wasn't the one on that stage doing that. It was those people.
Yeah, no, it was literal torture. And I think it's like the fact that like Tyra was trying to make it such a big deal about the fact that she was trying to change the industry, but she was like actively enacting those industry standards.
Worse in some instances.
Right. And then all of the girls going through that to like never really reach the success because people didn't want to book them because they didn't take them seriously.
Correct. So it backfired, but Tyra got the views, and that was what was important.
But also, she's destroyed her legacy, you know, which is crazy to think about because had COVID never happened and people not like gone back on a binge, I don't think any of this would have been called out.
Yeah, I think at some point it would have been. I think especially now we're in this movement of calling people out on their bullshit and this younger generation coming in and seeing things and calling it out. So it may have not happened right now, but I do think she would have got something at some point. Yeah. And I will say, and I'm not just saying this because of the doc, there was always something about Tyra that I didn't like. There was always something where it was like her shit don't stink. And I don't like those kind of people on my TV or in real life. So it's not like I hated her before this, but there was always something that like didn't. I was like, she thinks she's God.
Yeah, there's definitely like an inauthenticity to her.
Yes. And the only inauthentic or delusional, I think I'm God, I will take is from Mariah Carey. She is. Everyone else, step down.
And I think Mariah Carey is one of those ones where I can't think of any case where like she was the abuser, like she had been abused, but I can't think of like any news around that with her.
There's been things where she's like nasty and she's like mean to people and she lives up to the diva title.
Yeah.
But again, to me, that's just her being delusional.